Bon dia. As you can tell already, I am not Brazilian. I am from the USA. And very pleased to be here. I've been coming to Brazil since 1995, and I'm honored to be here making the presentation for you. To set the background for the presentation, I've prepared in a very high-tech manner trends and demands that we see in solid dosage pharmaceutical manufacturing. And the first trend is one that is very important from the standpoint of drug discovery. The big pharmaceutical companies have basically run out of molecules for making drug products from water-soluble substances. So to discover new drugs, they're finding that many of these new medications are water insoluble. And what that means for us as a solid dosage equipment builder is we need to take into consideration the fact that this is a fact of life now, and our equipment is going to have to adjust to this. So it's more difficult to find these molecules, and once having found them to treat different human maladies, it's another challenge to be able to produce them in a form that will be bioavailable to the human. Another trend is the use of high potency drugs. And what this means is that a very small portion of an active ingredient is used to treat a malady, and it requires a handling that has been a challenge to the industry for many years, because high potency can lead to severe problems with the drug delivery. High potency can also present problems for control in the environment in which the product is being produced. A third phenomena that is occurring is nanotechnology. And combined with those molecules that I spoke about in the beginning, companies are looking more and more at very fine submicron particles to be able to overcome the bioavailability problem, and also for use with other means of drug delivery. So those are three trends that I see in the industry as an equipment builder that we have to contend with. And what does this mean? Well, it means that we're seeing more demands for solvent processing, which the industry has moved away from over the years in favor of aqueous processing. Well, we're coming back to it now because of the water insolubility problem. Another trend, because of high potency, is containment. You have to protect your employees who are working with these compounds from exposure to some of these ingredients. So containment is a major factor. And the third trend for us as an equipment builder is to be able to innovate in our process technology, the equipment that our customers need to be able to accomplish the goal of producing these new drugs, given the set of circumstances that I've described. Okay, with that, I'm going to talk about our products. Am I obscuring anyone from seeing here? We build fluid bed processors, high shear mixers, and one-pot processors. We make size reduction machines, material handling equipment. We do process automation, engineering services, and we will retrofit our own as well as some of our competitors' products. And let me explain that to you for just a second. In Merck in Campinas, they owned an old Nairo aromatic fluid bed and a diosna mixer. And when we installed our mixer and fluid bed in Campinas, they asked us if we would install and modernize the Nairo and the diosna equipment that they had in one of their existing buildings, and we did that. We did that about 10 years ago. So now what we are looking at doing is, once again, working with our customer to modernize their equipment, to bring to them some of the new control technology that is available, for them to be able to make some of these high potency products, some of these containment products that are coming down from research which is done up in Pennsylvania. Our high shear mixers, we make all of our equipment from the R&D scale to the pilot scale to the production scale. So at the lowest level on the R&D scale, we make a tabletop high shear mixer with interchangeable bowls. So we have a 2 liter, a 4 liter, a 6 liter, an 8 liter, and we can actually make about a 13, 14 liter bowl on that tabletop machine, all interchangeable. The pilot scale machine, those, as you can see, are on casters, so we can move these machines around. And we have also interchangeable bowls on the pilot scale machines of 50 liters and 100 liters. So we can make them actually 25, 50, and 100 liters. So we're very flexible in terms of these machines, and they are very popular because they include automated controls and they are portable. So a customer in a pilot plant doesn't have to bolt the machine to the floor. They can use the machine in a high potency area, and when it has been properly cleaned, then they can store it elsewhere. They don't have to take up that expensive space for the use of that equipment. And the large scale machines go all the way up to a size of 1,250 liters, which is capable of making a batch size of 600, 700 kilos, depending upon the bulk density of the product. I'm quite confident that you understand how high shears work. Essentially, a high shear mixer is used to densify particles that can then be compressed into tablets. So you take your active ingredient with your solvents, and you'll take your active ingredients and your excipients, and you will add a binder to make a particle that is an agglomerate, and it is fairly dense and heavy in weight. And that is done in order to affect 2 things. Number one, you want to densify it so you can get the proper amount of active ingredient in a small granule so that you don't have to produce a huge tablet. And the second thing is that it's used to modify the delivery rate of the active ingredient. A large impeller is located at the bottom of the machine, and a chopper that comes in from the side is used to shear or intensify the granulation. And if you go to the next slide, that shows the mixers are bottom-driven mixers, and this one happens to be equipped with a containment feature. And go ahead to the next one. I want to get to the slide that shows the impeller turning. Yeah, you better go back again. Okay, that's good. So your impeller is used to mix the product, and essentially what happens is that the product is lifted up the side of the bowl and is deposited back in the middle. And if you were to compare the mixing quality of the bottom-driven mixer to that of the top-driven mixer, you'll see that this is a superior design from the standpoint of the mixing capability of the machine. A second factor that is also very important is the fact that with the bottom-driven mixer, you are able to get up to 90% of your total bowl capacity or volume available to making the granulation. If you were to look at, for instance, some of the other machines that are on the market, you'll see that most of them only are able to use about 66% of the bowl volume to be able to make their product. So consequently, we're able to produce a machine that would give you a 200 kilo batch of product, whereas some of the other mixers, they might have to prepare a machine that is much larger to accommodate that batch size. Okay, thank you. The Farmex has an elliptical shaped dome, as you can see on the top of the machine, and that lid allows enough clearance so that you're not accumulating product on the top of the lid that require you to scrape it off. It reduces your batch yield, and it creates cleaning problems for you. Am I going too fast, miss? Okay? Thank you. Okay, go ahead to the next one, Mariana. And another feature that we have pioneered with, actually with Diosna, because Diosna was, we worked with Diosna for many years, is a liftable tool. Proponents of the top-driven mixers often criticize this design because you have a tool that has to be taken out of the machine in order to effect the proper cleaning. Well, with our machine, you don't have to do that because we have air-purged seals on both the impeller and the chopper, and when your batch is finished, we use the system that is created to purge the seals to add liquid and detergent to clean the machine in place. And when you're finished, you can lift the tool with this pneumatic device. It lifts the tool up off the bottom of the machine so you can peer down into that seal to make sure you have it cleaned. So you don't have to lift that tool out of the machine to effect the proper cleaning. And this is an innovation, once again, brought about by the need for containment and to prepare the machine for working with high potency products.